Let's talk. I've got a story for you. And this time, I have pictures. For those who know me or follow my social media, you probably already know what's going on. But I have a update for you. And there's a story with that update. And then there is something that I want you to take away from this. Because this isn't self-congratulatory. This isn't how awesome is me. I've never wanted to make that type of content. But I do feel like even in my best personal moments, there are teachable moments that we can all draw from those as well. So let's start off with a little bit of context here. For most of you know, even when I started this channel, I held the rank of Grant of Arms through my Star of Merit, which is my kingdom's grant level service award. So I'm a member of the Order of the Star of Merit. And you can ask anyone who holds a grant level award. The chances are, or at least on Styria, the chances are overwhelmingly high. They're going to remember exactly where they got it. That is a not easy award to receive. That is a hard-earned award, and it's a big deal. Any award can have deep emotional meaning, and a number of my AOA level awards, even my non-armigerous awards, hold deep personal meaning to me, and they are deeply valuable, and I treasure them, and I treasure the memory of receiving them. But they still, there's something different about the grant, because on top of a deep emotional meaning, on top of a deep political implications as well, it is rank. You just got catapulted out of the AOA level awards, and you are now a grant level. You are the halfway point between AOA and peerage. So, not a lot of, in grand scheme of things, not a lot of people get their grants. It's a hard-earned award. And even fewer people receive 2 grants of arms. And I have received, recently at Laurel's Prize Tournament, I was called into court and given my Iris, which is the Order of the Iris of Merit, and that is our Arts and Sciences Grant Award. So I am now considered a double grant holder. You don't actually hold 2 grants of arms. It's you are a member of 2 orders, and you are given a grant of arms, whichever one you get first. So my rank did not increase by getting a second grant level award, but socially and politically my profile sure did. This is the type of thing in our kingdom that is noticed. It's noticed within the ANS community, it's noticed in the wider community. It's a big deal. However, remember how I told you everyone remembers when they got their grants because they're a big deal? I am in the insanely unique position of being able to say, court that night was awesome. It was a momentous event for me. Oh yeah, the Iris was nice too. So, every other person I know, when they get their grant of arms, that is their big moment that night in court. I know people who do get multiple awards in court, and that's fine. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes you get a baronial award or a non-armigerous award, and then you're given another award, or sometimes that happens. Then later on, you're called in for your grant. That's fine. I've seen that happen. It's not unheard of. But for everyone I know, your grant of arms is the highlight. When you get it, that is the highlight of your night, that night at court. Matter of fact, it's probably the highlight of that year. Like, grant is that big a deal. So, yeah, just before I got my Iris, Well, fortunately, I have video. So, first of all, I want to apologize for the audio. There's no fault of the person taking the video. As a matter of fact, Castellana is the videographer here. This is the same person I just finished my interview series with. The hall that we were in was a beautiful hall. It was excellently selected for what it was used for that day. It was large. It was open. We were able to get a lot of people in there, and there's a lot of room. But the acoustics were pretty atrocious for a court setting. So I apologize for the audio. That's no fault of Castellana or the phone they were using. But it is good enough that you can hear what is being said. Now, the person you're about to hear speaking is Her Ladyship, Anede Montgomery, who's also a good friend of mine. But relevant to this, she is the Star Principal Herald, the head of the Onsteyaren College of Heralds. And I will let her presentation take the story from here.
Who had as well achieved the highest level of heraldry. To do so, he created the rank of Herald Extraordinary. Wilhelm Laurel charged the principal heralds of each kingdom with the responsibility for elevating deserving heralds to this rank, and gave them the privilege of granting those heralds the right to a personal heraldic title, that is, one vested in the herald's own person rather than in the territory that they serve. Today, to recognize long and exemplary service given to Onsteyaren, I exercise this privilege and responsibility. There is one amongst us today who has gone above and beyond for the College of Heralds. Their leadership, enthusiasm, and diligence to the College of Heralds for the past 20-some-odd years is unreal to me, and that is why I'm investing in this person. He has been the Liechtenstein Herald for Baton in the North for all of that time, not giving up his time, knowing that when he arrived on site, that he would probably be asked because nobody had thought ahead. Therefore, he helped devise the Herald in Charge office that we try to get at every event. He is also teaching and mentoring heralds of all ranks wherever he goes, and he helps heralds find that happy place and brings them coming back. He also helped write and did the project management for the heraldic unofficial Onsteyaren and heraldic textbook, right, which is the basis for the heraldic retreat that we are doing next weekend. That will be a virtual event in late spring that has caught the eye of society to base for those affiliated kingdoms who are willing to have such a program and need such a program in their college. Therefore, I summon Ido Blackhawk. In recognition of his long and faithful and excellent service to Onsteyaren and his society, to hereby raise their trusty and well-beloved servant, Ido Blackhawk, to the rank of Herald Extraordinary, and confer upon him the right to a herald's title to be his own forever. I am Star, Sergeant to consult with the College of Heralds to select the title becoming of this dignity, and he charged him to continue to keep the duties of a true herald, as he has so nobly done before him.
I am not going to lie to you, I still get goosebumps remembering that moment. And I did not put together that she was talking about me until way too late into that presentation. As a matter of fact, if you look at the video, there's a guy right at the end of the aisle who's he's got his head is shaved, and he's got his hair pulled back in the kind of a mini ponytail in the back, and you see him look fairly early on. He looks to his left fairly early on in A's presentation. Now that's Ian Thornhill, who's a good friend of mine, sitting next to his wife Toriana. They're excellent people, amazing people, and he said that he had figured that out about 3 sentences in. So he was looking over at me to see if I had figured it out. I hadn't. When Anae started off with, this person has been doing heraldry for over 2 decades in the North, I went, oh wow, I know all the heralds in the North. That's kind of a short list. I probably know this person. Okay, I'm looking forward to this. I want to see who's going to get this. And then she talked about all the voice heraldry work. And I was like, wow, I know all the voice heralds. Like, this is someone I know. Wow, this is awesome. I want to know who's going to get this. And like an idiot, I just kept listening, wondering who this is. And then she used the he pronoun. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that knocks this list down even shorter. There's only a handful of guys, because a lot of the voice heralds I work with are women. So I was like, wow, who could it be? And I'm just sitting there thinking, this picture right here, that's my wife sitting next to me making the goofiest face. And she was trying not to burst out into cheer prematurely, because she had figured out who Anae was talking about. But now you can see with me, I'm just still gears turning. And when she said the words project manager, because I am the only person in the Australian College of Heralds who has ever used that title for any project. It's just not something that we use culturally. It's deputy or project lead or whatever. Project manager, that is something as a title I chose when I was working on the textbook project for myself, because I felt like it described who I was. And when she said project manager, my mental transmission slipped a gear. I was just like, what? Seriously? And the only reason I was able to stand up when she called my name was my wife was right next to me. She grabbed my hand, she stood up, and that prompted me. I don't think I could have put my synapses, I don't think I could have put 2 synapses together to stand up at that point. I was so gobsmacked by what was going on. And a footnote to that story, the end there, when I gave Anae a hug, right before court, I had sat down to talk with her, and she was across the table from me, and she was writing in her, she was reading from her notebook. She was writing in that same notebook, which is fairly common for Anae. She's really good at taking notes. She does really good presenting when she has notes and she has her agenda lined out. So I was not surprised in the least that she was taking notes and she was writing stuff down. While I was standing up there, I realized what she'd been writing, and when I gave her a hug, I whispered into her ear, I said, "You were writing all that down right in front of me, weren't you?" And she nodded. She went, "Yep." So, yeah, this is just me wearing the clueless hat for that whole thing. It was glorious. It was amazing. And yeah, it took me way longer than I want to confess than I should be comfortable confessing anyway, to figure out that she was talking about me. And a little bit about the Herald Extraordinary. For those of you who might have trouble with the audio, the long and short of it is that it was established by society, has a title, it holds no rank, it doesn't do anything for your rank or precedence, but it is a title given to someone for extraordinary levels of support and promotion for the heraldic arts within a Kingdom's College of Heralds. And the only person who can name a Herald Extraordinary is the Kingdom's Principal Herald. It's one of the very, very few ceremonial authorities that a Principal Herald has. And it not only is it very prestigious, but after I got home and got a chance to look it up and do a little bit of research about it, I think there are less than 200 Heralds Extraordinary in the whole of the SCA since the rank's creation. So you're talking about, 40 plus years of history across 20 kingdoms, North America, the coast of Asia, and Europe. And only 200 people have ever been named this title, and I was deemed worthy of it. I'm still humbled by that. So, little bit of protocol here. So, what does that mean? Number one, there's no title change. I'm still His Lordship. Like I said, it doesn't move my name up or down one space on the order of precedence. You don't get to call me anything different. I do, however, get to register a personal heraldic title. Now, any office within the College of Heralds may have a heraldic title, like Candilio Herald here in Wiesenfeuer. That is the title for the office of the local herald, which I believe Candilio is chandelier in Italian or something like that. And you may call yourself by that title as long as you are holding that office. That Star Principal Herald. Star Principal is, Star is a title, and you can call yourself Star as long as you're in the office. A personal heraldic title is registered to you by name and follows you in perpetuity permanently. So there was a lot of soul searching. There was a lot of talking with my friends, and I have chosen the title of Resolute Pursuivant. And a pursuivant is just another word for an officer within the College of Heralds. So I need to get submitted, but it should be clear. We've conflict checked it against all the other uses of heraldic titles, and the title I'm hoping to register is Resolute Pursuivant. Now, it is an awesome story, and I'm very proud of it, but what does this have to do with you? First of all, don't ever hesitate to rightfully celebrate an accomplishment or an award. Don't ever feel like you can't give yourself a hearty pat on the back when you get an award, whether it's your AOA or your grant or a peerage. That is an accomplishment. And while I'm all for humility as a primary virtue, I don't ever want to rob anyone, I don't ever want to guilt anyone out of being able to say, hell yeah, I did it. I think that is healthy, and I think that is important, and I think it offers closure and satisfaction of what can be some very challenging times. A lot of these grant level awards, and peerage of course, are tough roads, and I want to encourage people to celebrate those accomplishments. But the other thing that I want you to take away from this is the sensation that I felt when it was explained to me how few people have received this award, how really exclusive this club is. As a matter of fact, one of the first people who pointed that out to me was Her Grace Duchess Sonia, who we happened to be on our way out to the parking lot at the same time at Laurel's Prize Tournament. She made a passing comment after, of course, congratulating me, but it made a passing comment of, there aren't that many Heralds Extraordinary, Ivo. You're part of a really small club. Congratulations. And that took me aback. And then the next day, I was talking with Taryn the Wayward, the same gentle who showed me how to use and make a heraldic baton for my baton video. This is the same man. And he, this is such a typical Taryn answer. He pointed out that he can't find more than about, I think it was 150, maybe 175 Heralds Extraordinary in the whole of the SCA. this is an exclusive club. And yeah, you could read that as, hell yeah, I'm important. That's a valid way to interpret that. But I'll tell you what I felt when he said that to me. I felt like someone had taken a 50-pound cinder block and set it right against my chest. And it's not that I didn't want the award. That's not what I mean. It was something this rare and this prestigious. For me, my first thought was, I now have a benchmark. I now have a moral obligation to live up to this standard. Now, obviously, part of this, part of that is taken care of. Part of this is taken care of as I obviously was already there. They wouldn't have given me the award. And for any award, there's kind of the unwritten part of whatever the hell you're doing, keep doing it. So it's not that I need to radically change my behavior, but I felt a very, very specific sense of responsibility added to my plate when I received that award. And that's not a bad thing for me. That's not something that I am dreading or regretting. But for me, that is how I show respect to the award, is living up to the standard that was clearly set before me. And what I want you to take away from this is, when you receive any recognition, whether it is an award, a rank, or even just a piece of largesse, a thank you from someone, absolutely celebrate and share in a rightful accomplishment. It's okay to, at some point in that process, pat yourself on the back and go, hell yeah, I did it. That's healthy. That's good. And it can be rather cathartic too. But also, what I would encourage you to do is consider what standard was set for that award or that rank or that thank you. And my challenge to you now is that really should be a new benchmark that you work to never fall below again. I could ramble about this for a while, but at its core, what I want you to remember with any award, with any largesse, with any recognition, is with all of the gusto and the joyousness of the recognition, which are proper and rightful and celebrate to your heart's content, don't lose sight of the fact that there's also a responsibility there, a responsibility to uphold a standard, to keep improving yourself or keep improving the game around you the same way you were to get that award. And the reason why that is so important is that responsibility, that burden, if we're being blunt about it, for those who are willing to undertake that burden, for those that are willing to carry it, for those that are willing to set that standard and maintain it zealously, that's our way of helping to improve the game around us. That is our way of making the SCA a better place. So I really appreciate you listening to me ramble for a little bit. I hope you enjoyed the video. Yes, it was an amazing event. Yes, I am probably the only person who gets to say court was awesome. Oh yeah, the Iris was cool too. But thank you for joining me. I look forward to seeing you at the next event. Until then, goodbye. God bless. If there are two things I've learned that drive videos these days, it's controversy and engagement. Now, I am never going to fly the controversy flag on a regular basis. It's not what I'm here for. It's not the content I want to make, and I really don't think it helps any of us. But let's do engagement. If you like this video, please go down in the comments and leave a comment. Make sure to share the video. And last but not least, easiest of all, make sure to like the video. That helps drive the algorithm. It helps get the video views and helps promote this material. Thank you very much.